I had really bad acne for over 15 years and cleared it naturally with food. And today I'm gonna share the plan that I followed that helped me finally get my confidence back after struggling with acne for so long. So let's discuss. Hi there, my name is Therese, and after 15 years of acne struggles, I finally cleared my skin naturally, and I created my acne clearing program, the Clear Code, to help you do the same. 10 years and thousands of clients later, I've made it my life's work to get you clear skin without harsh chemicals, pills, and or crazy hormones or creams. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. So I have a feeling if you're here, you are just like how I used to be. And that was every morning, first thing in the morning, I would wake up and I would feel my face just to see if I had any new breakouts. I would try any pill, cream, hormone, anything that the dermatologist or anyone recommended, I would try it. If you had a new topical, if you had a new tea tree oil, benzoyl peroxide, salicylic mix, I tried it. And I really struggled so much emotionally too with my acne. I would not go to events. I would cancel dates. I would hide my face as much as possible. I remember I was driving in the car, whenever I drove in the car and I had acne, I always wanted my hair to be down, right? Because my acne was like here. So I was like, maybe if I'm just driving, like no one can see me, right? That was the mode that I played on in terms of my acne. That's how I lived my life. And honestly, the worst part was that I just felt so hopeless because I had tried so many things. You get to this point when and if you've tried so many things where you just start to feel hopeless, right? Because what you're doing too, like maybe you know that you're a really healthy person, but what you're doing isn't necessarily showing up in your skin. It's kind of like there's an inner health, an inner radiance, inner glow, inner confidence that you want to feel daily, but that you feel like you can't feel because you're dealing with acne. And so you feel almost like you're hiding from the world. There's this like growing feeling that how you're feeding yourself, how you're taking care of yourself, how much you're thinking about this problem isn't actually reflecting in what your skin looks like. Does that sound familiar? So for me especially, I was drinking so many good green juices, I was eating so many good foods, and nothing was really creating the results that I wanted to see. I had gone vegan, I had gone keto, I think I went paleo, I think I went pescatarian, I went vegetarian. Like I did all the things and nothing was really working. And so by the time I hit 26, technically late 20s, I was like, oh, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. And I distinctly remember thinking, okay, I'm 26 years old now. This whole like, oh, puberty is happening. Like, you know, when you're 15 or 16 and you freak out about your skin, everyone kind of has bad skin, or the majority of the people around you have bad skin. So it's kind of normal. But for me, 26, it wasn't normal anymore. It wasn't cute, it wasn't acceptable, and quite frankly, I had lost my mind about it. So I'm 26 years old and I schedule an appointment with a dermatologist. And this was the turning point from an acne perspective for me because it had been 15 years. I was beside myself about my skin, and this was a female dermatologist. So I thought, okay. And I think she was in like her late 30s. So I was like, no more, I'm sorry, but no more much older men, love them, but like an elderly man, I found they often did not completely understand why this was impacting my self-esteem so much. Like my confidence was destroyed by this. And I felt that much older men didn't really get it. But I knew that a woman, a 6-year-old woman would get it, right? So I scheduled this appointment with her and I'm really excited because I'm like, oh, this is it. This is it. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do it. My skin's gonna be clear and it's all gonna be great. So I go to the appointment and I sit down and I'm like, she's gonna have the thing. I'm in a gown. I don't know why they put me in a gown. Like it made no sense. So I'm like, okay. And why? I mean, my acne was here. I don't know why. Not the point. She comes in and I had, as you might do, already rehearsed all of the things that I had tried for my skin, right? Everything. I had it all listed in chronological order in my mind. Like I had it. And I didn't even get to explain it. I didn't even get to tell her anything because she comes in, she barely looks at me, barely acknowledges me, looks me over and is like, hi, what are you here for today? Typical, like brush off, doesn't care. And I was like, well, I'm really struggling with my acne. And you know how when dermatologists come in and you can feel that they don't care? And so that makes you less likely to share though. Like you can just tell it's an environment where they don't care. So I immediately kind of closed up when she walked in. Her energy, I could tell she was just gonna offer me the birth control pill, spironolactone, something else, something that I didn't want to use. I tried to speak up for myself, that being said, but it didn't work. I think we spoke for maybe 32 seconds. And then she kind of got up and started washing her hands. And you know how doctors wash their hands when the appointment is over. And she kind of like looked over her shoulder at me while she was washing her hands. She was like, Jill, I don't know what else to tell you. You've tried everything. We have this $500 light treatment. It may or may not work, but I don't know what else to tell you. And then she left. And I think she tried to sell me on the $500 light treatment a little bit more than I'm saying here. And I remember being so furious about it because she was basically saying, give me $500, maybe it'll go well. Like there was nothing helpful. There was no good guarantee. The whole thing was terrible. 0 out of 10, don't recommend. So that being said, it was the turning point because here's what happened. I leave her office. I remember there was gravel in the parking lot because what's the term? I sped out so fast that I like spewed gravel behind me. I was so mad, like she could hear that. Anyways, I'm crying the whole way home because I'm 26. And I was actually an actor at the time, and I was on stage and auditioning for commercials, and I had such bad acne here, and I was on a raised stage that summer. I was acting in a play, and so basically I was elevated above the audience, and so all of these people were in the audience looking up at me, and I just it was terrible. And I was so upset, and I cried the whole way home. But that being said, as I was crying, I kept repeating what she said, which was, you've tried everything, I don't know what else to tell you. You've tried everything, I don't know what else to tell you. And as I repeated that, I realized she was right. We had tried everything but my food. And I realized in that moment that it was nutrition. I had been asking these questions for a long time because I had been training to become a fitness instructor at the time, around this time. I was running half marathons. I was learning all about food, mind, body, nutrition connection in a way that I never had before. And so all of it started to come together. And I realized, oh my God, it's what I'm eating. It's my family history of type 2 diabetes, my chronic constipation, my on and off birth control pill use, on and off doxycycline. It's all actually leading up to the same thing. And so I got home and I remember I had Retin-A on the counter, doxycycline, some other like benzoyl peroxide, something. And then the birth control pill had been re-prescribed. And I remember just looking at all of it thinking, you don't work anyways. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm gonna figure this out myself. And so I swept all of it off the counter and into the trash. And I said to myself, I am gonna go to the library. This was a very long time ago. And I said, I'm gonna clear my acne naturally. I know that there is a link between what I'm eating and what's showing up in my skin, and I'm gonna clear my acne naturally. This ended up being one of the best things that I ever did for my skin because when I went to the library, I researched a ton, but I started at the root of the thing. I wanted to understand why acne was happening for me in the first place. I'm kind of science-minded, I think, naturally. I'm a nutritionist now, so of course I am, but even at that point, I thought, if I could just understand why acne forms in the first place, I'll be able to clear it. I know I will. You know, arrogant me. I'll be able to do what 100 years of medical research can't, but whatever. You live, you shoot for the moon, you land among the stars. So I go to the library and I research everything I can possibly find, but I start with what causes acne, why you break out in the first place. And now I love sharing that three main studies had a huge impact on how I was able to clear my acne and create the plan that cleared it for life. The first piece of information that transformed my life was how acne forms in the first place. And that is that 4 key pathogenic processes lead to a breakout. It's very sciencey, but ultimately you have too many skin cells, your skin cells don't slough off, too much oil is at the pore, and then P. acnes, so the bacteria that causes acne, gets into the pore and causes a breakout to form. That's why we break out, okay? So then I thought, all right, what I'm eating, lifestyle factors, are going to contribute to all of those conditions at the pore. I need to determine which lifestyle factors impact those conditions at the pore the most and the most positively, and take those. So that was kind of learning number 1, was understanding why acne forms. The second article that really changed my life was Lorraine Cordain's article about the Kidavan Islanders, in which there was a society that he visited and there was no acne present, like 0. This blew my mind because I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, even growing up, you knew at least 5 people with acne. Like, we all knew someone with acne, especially as teenagers. But in this society, in this culture, even teenagers didn't have acne. And all I could think was, yep. And they were living in a very specific way outside of kind of the Western diet culture, ate very differently, Their whole life was different. That also made the case for me because, humans we're very different people, but the fundamentals of our bodies are pretty similar. And so all I could think was, okay, so we have these humans here and we have these humans here in these two different places. Biologically, essentially, in many ways, they're the same, but their environments are very different. And so I concluded that it has to be the environment, aka their food, that's probably positively contributing to their skin and their skin staying clear. The third article that really blew my mind, that pulled it all together for me, and I like sharing these because I want to empower you with the knowledge too, was an article that went over the work of John H. Stokes and Donald M. Pillsbury, two doctors who postulated that adding lactobacillus acidophilus cultures into the guts, into your stomach, to your microbiome of people struggling with acne would have a positive impact on their skin. That would eventually clear their acne. And in all of their test subjects that they did that for, their skin improved. So basically what that told me and confirmed for me was that the gut-skin axis was a real thing. Type yes below if you know that your gut health issues and your chronic constipation, IBS, nutrient absorption issues, constant bloating, if you feel intuitively and possibly even conclusively that your gut issues are related to your skin, type yes below because I'm pretty sure that's you. Number one. Number two, I had always had gut stuff. Even as a little girl, I was constipated, especially when I went on and off the birth control pill. It really impacted how much I was able to go to the bathroom. I was bloated. Like, there were so many different gut health things that happened for me over the course of 15 years with acne. And I could generally see, again, in hindsight, I could see a big correlation in between what I saw in my skin versus how my gut was doing. So I have these three studies in mind, right? I understand the conditions at the pore that lead to a breakout. I understand that there's a culture, quite a few actually, upon further research, and many different situations in which people don't get acne at all. And then I have a clear confirmation of a gut-skin axis, right? So what happens in our stomach, aka what we eat, shows up in your skin. And from there, I was off. And when I say I was off, I mean I studied and researched for another, I think 4 to 6 weeks, and then put together the plan to clear my acne naturally, which has now since become the Clear Code, which I've helped over 1,000 women clear their acne naturally with. So you want to know what the plan's like. Let's discuss. We have these 4 conditions at the pore, right? So too many skin cells, too much oil, skin cells don't slough off, and P. acnes gets in, okay? Start there. That's like first principles thinking. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's just like the root of the thing, right? The root of the issue is you have these conditions at your pore. So then we have to ask, what are the lifestyle factors that are contributing to these conditions at the pore? And the 7 factors that I've found to contribute the most are blood sugar management issues, hormonal issues, gut health challenges, topical issues, stress management, food allergies, and overall inflammation. Those are the 7 biggest things that impact your acne. Now, that being said, there are subcategories to each of those 7 items, right? I think the biggest thing that I'd love for you to take from this video is that acne is largely systemic, which is why you've had a blood test or a gut health test or a hormone test or a hormone panel done, and it hasn't told you that much about your skin, right? Am I right? I have a whole video about why I don't do blood tests for acne. You can find that here. That being said, acne is largely systemic, and it's usually made up of a few different lifestyle factors, maybe even 3 to 5, that are contributing to those conditions at the pore that are leading to a breakout. So as I was crafting my plan and determining my plan, I had to look at those 7 main root acne triggers, right? 7 main root acne lifestyle choices that are leading to your breakouts. But then I also had to look at the subcategories for each of them. And so let me explain what I mean by subcategories. Digestion is a perfect subcategory to discuss because it is very multifaceted. So for example, digestion as a whole, as it relates to acne, we have a gut-skin axis. Okay, we have a confirmation that what happens in our gut shows up on our skin. Digestion has many different components. So first things first, the fact that your gut health is a microbiome. We have 3 pounds of bacteria from here to the other end, 3 pounds, and it keeps you alive. You want it like that. You want that bacteria because if and when you ingest bad things or bad food or bad bacteria, your good bacteria will kill the bad stuff, kill viruses, protect your whole body. We love a healthy biome. Okay, we love it. That being said, there are many factors to this biome. So first, for example, we have the balance or imbalance of healthy versus opportunistic bacteria that we have to account for. So do you have the right type of bacteria that's growing within this microbiome? Do you have the wrong type? And or how are you going to address that? Another factor relates back to this question, and that's whether or not you're struggling with leaky gut and or intestinal permeability, which impacts nutrient absorption. if you've been eating a lot of foods that might be the wrong foods for you, or you had a viral infection or a bacterial infection and things didn't quite clear up, and or the lining of your gut got very irritated. Maybe you're drinking too much coffee on an empty stomach all day, too many acidic foods. Maybe you struggle with a few food intolerances. Something's going on. It's creating this environment in which the lining of your gut is really irritated and you aren't able, as a result, to absorb nutrients the way that you should. Certain vitamins, certain minerals, you're potentially going to struggle with nutrient absorption because your lining, the lining of your gut, isn't as healthy as it should be and capable of absorbing all the nutrients it needs. So then you struggle with things like leaky gut, IBS, or constipation, which then leads into another subcategory, which has to do with detoxification, for example. So not only do we, when we eat food, right, do we have to focus on the digestion element, and that largely fits into what I just shared. So bacteria, intestinal permeability and or lack thereof, nutrient absorption. Then you also have to deal with the other end of things, you know what I'm saying? The detoxification part. And that is multifaceted. That can eventually link back into your hormones. For example, a common issue that I see with a lot of clients is they're dealing with estrogen dominance, which is just an elevated level of estrogen in comparison to other hormones at the wrong time of your cycle, and can potentially be a result of your liver being just a little sluggish and you're not able to detoxify out excess hormones, chemicals, toxins the way you should. And usually those things come out in your poop. Sometimes they come out in sweat, breath, urine, but generally speaking, they come out in when you go to the bathroom. And that element of detoxification is like kind of a little subcategory of overall gut health. So as I went to create my clear code, I had to look at each of these 7 factors, right? Blood sugar, hormones, digestion, food allergies, topicals, stress management, and then just overall inflammation. And I had to determine the exact action steps that were going to address each part of those challenges in a way that addressed my root acne triggers and also in a way that was sustainable. If I decided on a really strict diet plan or 18-step skincare routine or a combination of both, no matter what that was, it had to be something that worked for life, which is actually why I think you're here now. I think you are here now because you've been trying to do this on your own, and it's complicated. It's complicated. It's not complicated for me anymore. It isn't. But there was a time when it was very complicated because of everything I just shared. So you have these 4 conditions at your core. You have these 7 factors that influence these conditions, but then these 7 factors have subcategories. And you have to combine the fact that you are a unique person with a unique biology, unique environment, unique experience. And all of these can lead to the frustration that I think that you're feeling, which is, oh my God, like you feel like you have some of the foundations for clear skin, but not necessarily the whole picture, which can lead you to feeling confused. You feel like you're spinning your wheels, you're trying a lot of different things, and you might actually be aimed in the right direction in some ways, but they're not getting you the results that you're seeking, which is why you're feeling so low from a confidence perspective, right? It's like, I know that one of the worst human feelings on the planet is trying a lot of things and not getting anywhere. Feeling like you're on a hamster wheel that's literally moving backwards. It's so frustrating. And so I think that too played such a big role in the confidence factor for me. That being said, my acne has been clear for 10 years now, and there were kind of 2 main shifts for me after I cleared my skin. And the first shift, actually 3. The first shift was how confident I feel. I just feel like myself again. There were periods of time in my life when my skin was clear and I just wasn't thinking about my acne so much. I could think about the baseball game that I was going to, or I could just go to the beach without worrying about my skin. It just empowered me so much from a confidence perspective. The second amazing benefit that links back to what I just shared is I feel like my insides match my outsides now. I feel like as a person, listen, I have bad days. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have bad days. Oh, do I? But generally speaking, I feel like generally I'm a very vibrant, beautiful woman, right? And having acne, for better or for worse, vain or not, right? We could talk about that for days, but it just made me feel like something was out of alignment. Like I felt like something was off and this acne was trying to show me something. And once I cleared my skin naturally, I finally felt like my insides and my outsides were matching. Like my skin and how I looked and how I moved through the world actually reflected how I felt from the inside out. The third most important factor of all of this the most important results I would say that came from clearing my acne naturally was that I have control now. We have a troubleshooting module and worksheet in my acne clearing program, the Clear Code. When you clear your acne naturally, you learn so much about your skin. And one of the things that I like to focus on is empowering you with so much knowledge that you're able to troubleshoot what's going on with your skin. Because you have so much clarity about your skin, your body, all of the things, you're able to take a look at all of these different data points, all of these different factors and say, oh wait, this is what's happening with my skin, this is what's happening with my body, my fertility, my gut health, my blood sugar, and you're able to take action in a really informed, empowered way. Because when you understand kind of the larger macro concepts about your skin, and then micro concepts as they relate to you and your body, your life, your schedule, your biology, you have control back over your skin, which is honestly it's like the most powerful thing out of all of it. Like, you are empowered with knowledge and control. So your skin can be as magnificent and as glowy as you want it to be. That being said, if you've been struggling with your skin for a long time and you know there's a deeper root issue at play and you just want to get to the root of it, you want to understand why you're breaking out, and then you want a plan to clear your acne naturally that's actually sustainable, that allows you to eat donuts and pizza and to still have a cupcake here or there. Apply to my natural acne clearing program, the Clear Code, via the link below. That's exactly what we do in the program. Define your root acne triggers, define the plan that's going to clear your acne naturally in a sustainable way while you eat donuts, and then equip you with your clear code, your clear skin checklist to keep your skin clear for life, so that you never have to worry, you never have to wonder what's happening with your skin again, and you are completely empowered for life to understand and keep your skin clear. That being said, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new one. And if you know a mother, brother, sister, friend, anyone struggling with challenges like this, please send them this video. I would love to be kind of a spark for them to help them manage, control, and support their acne in any way possible. So I will see you in the next one.